When I was a kid, there was a show in the 1980s. You know, the 80s? Ever heard of them? No, you guys weren't even born yet, but back in the 1980s, there was a television show called Magnum P.I. starring Tom Selleck. And in this show, Magnum was a private investigator, a private eye, a PI, and he had this awesome job of going around and solving cases that seemingly were unsolvable. After the police had tried to figure out and get to the bottom, see what was going on in this case, and they couldn't do it, someone would go to Magnum PI and say, Magnum, we need you to get the truth. We need you to get to the bottom of this case. And every week in Magnum PI, it would take him to all these exotic locations and he would meet all these different people and he would go on these adventures. And it was so cool. And at the end of 60 minutes, you know it, Magnum solved the case. He dug in, he investigated, he got the truth, and the bad guys went to jail. But more about that in a moment. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Arthur, and I'm going to be with you guys at Momentum 2022 at Camp Joyelle. I couldn't be more excited. A little bit more about myself. I'm a life coach for teenagers, which means I get to work one-on-one with teenagers, or sometimes in a small group setting, or sometimes even in a large group teaching context. I get to work with teenagers and help them develop healthy mindsets and strategic methods for incredible success. So why do I mention Magnum PI, one of my favorite shows in the 1980s? Simple. Our momentum theme for the entire weekend is private eye. Private eye, private investigator. And what we want to communicate to you guys over the course of the weekend is that you can be a private eye. You can investigate to get to the truth. Because at the end of the day, we want you to know what the truth is. There are a lot of lies that people are telling. There's a lot of falsehoods that you're hearing every single day. How do you filter all that through? How do you determine that something is true versus something is a lie? We want you to get to a point where you can investigate yourselves. You can be that private investigator, that private eye to say, well, let's figure out what is really true here. We're going to give you some skills to be able to do that. We're going to show you where ultimate truth comes from. Spoiler alert, it comes from God's Word. So I'm looking forward to being with you guys all weekend long. I'm going to be leading you through 4 different sessions over the course of the weekend, and we're going to talk about truth. It's going to be a great time. Guys, I will see you soon at Momentum 2022 at Camp Joyelle.